Between the 1970s and well into the new century, I've embarked on a number of journeys across the Australian mainland. Getting an early start, I'm rewarded with the sight of wildlife taking advantage of the cooler weather. They know as the day progresses, it'll be too hot to be under the blazing sun of the Australian outback. I stop the car to have a better look at a few grey kangaroos, and a staring match begins. Eventually they decide that distance is best for their own safety. Flocks of emus grazing beside the track are a constant hazard. They are unpredictable, flightless birds and can cross the road in front of you without warning. It always seems to be a good year for the rabbits. If you're lucky, you may enter the territory of a fox and another staring match will begin. To see goats standing on their hind legs reaching for the new leaves on top of the ever-suffering small trees is a sight not welcomed. My mind starts out alert and ready for changes in the condition of the track. Any slight colour difference will warn me of a washout or a bull dust camouflage pothole. It takes a long time to count down the kilometres, even longer on a dirt track. Now, only small willy-willies scatter loose sand across the surrounding plains, but to the north, dark storm clouds wait on the horizon. If the heavens open up on this landscape of saltbush and stunted gum trees, my journey will be made even more difficult. As the day heats up, animal life becomes rare, and only occasionally do you see what lives in this unforgiving landscape, and then it's usually from a distance. As progress is made, the track deteriorates and the corrugations shake every bolt in the vehicle loose. Then the constant vibrations tighten everything up again. Finding the right speed to travel over these small bumps in the track takes trial and error. Only too often the preferred speed of 80 kilometres per hour has to be altered when hidden washaways suddenly appear. It always amazes me how your passenger, if you have one on board, can see a bird in a tree way off in the distance, but fails to see the rabbit the driver has watched scamper across the road a few metres in front of the charging vehicle. Such is the concentration the driver experiences. After a while you become mesmerised to that area a few metres in front of the car. But with many hours on the road also comes lapses in concentration. I've lost count how many times I've seen a lump of rock in the distance and waited until it's almost under my wheels before I've steered away. I pass dips in the track where dry creeks cross the flat landscape. These creek crossings keep you honest. No two are ever the same. Some sandy, some rocky. Others are sandy, rocky, and a few potholes thrown in for good measure. I won't even begin to describe the creek crossings that actually contain water. Who named them and why becomes my only thought, until another bad stretch of corrugations jars me back to concentrating on the track ahead. Just when you think you're the only traveller in that part of the world, a cloud of dust rises from the horizon. As it gets closer, a vehicle speeds towards you. It's somehow reassuring to realise the car came from the same destination you're heading for. Road trains in the outback are another hazard, transporting everything from huge truck tyres to sheep from cattle stations further north. They hurtle along the track, laying a dust trail that needs to be approached with caution. Your eyes focus into the cloud, desperately looking for a vehicle. Faced with such predicaments, it's always best to stop and pull off the track and give him a wide berth. As the world around you disappears into a cocoon of choking dust that slowly swallows you like a nebula in a science fiction movie, you wait for it to clear, which can be in an instant, or if there's no wind, it just hangs around for a while. I once had an opportunity to experience one of these 18-wheelers firsthand. I was invited to travel to an isolated oil rig near Idaminka in South Australia. After a long drive, we transferred the liquid from storage into the tanker and drove back to Mumba, which is a large complex just off the Strzelecki track.